Everybody, Lieutenant Joe here for Hope is Not a Tactic, right? What do we mean by that? Hope is not a tactic. You hear it every time, every show. That's the name of the show. The whole idea is you can't just hope for the best. You have to be proactive in what you're doing in your schools, your businesses, religious facilities, any place people get together. You have to take a proactive set of actions to make your facilities safer and more secure. So I want to thank my sponsors, Blue 360 Media. They're my publisher of my books. We're going to be setting up a whole entire area on school safety and security with videos, trainings, books, all kinds of things. Medical Essential Diagnostics. They are New Jersey based right now. They have 6 locations where if you're a employee of the state, local government, any place like that, a teacher, law enforcement guy, girl, you can go to any one of their locations at no cost to you and get a complete health screening, right? That's why they're one of our sponsors. They want to keep you healthy and safe, right? And right over here, Riot Tint, our newest sponsor. Excellent. Riot Tint and Smart Tint. They make window film, safety film. Now, you've heard me talk about it. There's an episode. Go back and look at it. Very important. All for your doors and windows to keep people out. Well, Riot Tint, what's special about them is that they also have the glazing, the window film, the standard window film, which is excellent, provides a lot of security, but they also have the Riot Tint, which is connected to electric, and with the push of a button, you can frost the glass out so people can't see it. So I want to thank all of them for bringing this program to you. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, let's see. How about keying alike your doors and windows, or using swipe cards or fobs, or what is it that you use? So let's look at the historical record here. We know that in many schools, especially the older ones, the classroom doors have keys, and the teachers have keys to their doors, and they can lock them when they go home, so their stuff is safe in there, whatever they want to do. But we also know that in an emergency, many of the older kinds of locks have to be keyed shut from outside the room, right? You have to go in the hallway and lock the door and then close it. So this can be problematic. Now, if you're on the second floor and there's a violence taking place on the first floor, you might have a minute to go in your hallway and safely lock your door. But if you're not, if you're on the first floor where the violence is taking place, I'm going to tell you the very first thing you're going to lose is your fine motor skills. So the idea of taking a key, sticking it in a lock, and locking that door when there's somebody firing a weapon right up the hallway, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get that door locked. I've done this when I've done drills, and I've told the teachers, you know, we're going to do a drill, and I come down the hallway and I see them and I start stomping my feet. Here I come, here I come. They get so nervous they can't get the key in the lock. And I'm not really a killer. I'm not trying to hurt them. We're doing a drill, but it seems realistic, and they have the same reaction. I've seen teachers drop their keys, run into the classroom, close the door. And so if we're counting on that kind of a locking system, it's not much help. In Sandy Hook, when the Sandy Hook school was attacked, the killer was coming down the hallway, and the teachers were in the hallway trying to lock the doors, and they couldn't do it. And we know what happened there. He killed the teacher in the hallway. He got into the room, killed a lot of children. Terrible, terrible thing. So how do we combat that? Well, there's a simple, very simple and inexpensive way to do that. Excuse me. I have door magnets, right? They're about this big. Right? If I had one here, I would show it to you. I don't have one here. I'll show it in another episode. It's a tiny little door magnet. And what you do is you lock the classroom door. You pre-lock it. Then you take this magnet and you put it over the throw of the door. You know where the latch goes into the door and secures it? That the magnet covers that. This way, the door is already in a locked position. The teacher, students can come and go through that classroom door 1,000 times if they want, and doesn't affect the class. Teacher doesn't have to keep going over and opening the door, let them in. In an emergency, when you need to lock down, a student or a teacher simply goes to the door, opens it a crack, slides the magnet out of the way, and closes the door, and it latches, and the door is safely closed. Now, this is fast. Time equals life, right? Isn't that what we talk about? It's very, very quick, and it provides for a secure classroom. Had they had those magnets in some of these schools that have been attacked when teachers had to go in the hallway, teachers and the children would still be alive. It's as simple as that. All right, so you want to think about what kind of door locks do you have? Now, I was a director of school safety and security, and I was inundated with people who wanted me to buy their products. And there's tons of products you can buy out there, right? They have to be vetted. Some things are really a good idea, but they're so expensive, it's crazy. All right. There's all kinds of things that they can put to block the door, but they could be hundreds of dollars each. A magnet is about $6, $7. You put it on there. The caveat to that is this: some states do not allow you to use the magnets. New York State is one of them. They don't want you using magnets to fire people. My brother and sisters in the fire service, they say if there's a fire, the magnet could swell and then they couldn't get the door out. Let me be honest with you. Here's my response to that. And I've had this argument several times with my fire brothers and sisters. The difference between a fire, when there's a fire in the building, and the last time a child was killed in a fire in a school was, I think, 1958. Last time a child was shot and killed in a school was 2 weeks ago, right? So we see the difference. If there's a fire in the building and we have to get out, we leave right away, right? We don't secure the door. We don't lock the door. We get out. We evacuate. That's what we do. Fire drills. We run outside because the building's on fire. So there's not much chance we'll be locking the door with the children inside if the building's on fire. So I don't see the logic to it. But I get it. They're trying to protect children from other things. But in any state where it is allowed, you can get these magnets. I have access to them. You can email me, Joe@Pangaro Training. It'll be in the information of the show. They're $6 or $7 a piece. You could probably get them from a local manufacturer by you, put your school logo on them, put them on all the doors. They last 5, 6 years before you got to replace them. Very, very inexpensive way to secure your building. Now, in a place like New York, when I do assessments, and I go there all over, and I was told they can't have the magnets, the teachers do other things, right? They take, you ever see the swimmy tubes, the little swimmy tubes the kids swim on in the summer? They take them, cut a piece off, and put it over the door so that the door can open and close all day. And in an emergency, they can just pull it off. I've seen teachers put rocks in the doorway so that the door doesn't close all the way, but the kids can come and go and it's pre-locked. What are we doing? We're playing a game here. The magnets are really very good to get us safe and secure quickly. So think about that. Another thing you really need to have, and there's some conversation about this in different places, different opinions, is window covers for the classroom doors, right? So in an emergency, you lock the door, you close the door, you lock it, and then you pull a window cover down. Now, there's lots of different things you can get. The reason we cover the window in this day and age, if it's an internal threat or an external threat, doesn't matter. Somebody coming from the outside to attack us or one of our students attacking us. Everybody knows in this day and age, when the doors are closed, there's children in there. There's teachers in there. They're locked down. Everybody knows what a lockdown is now. There's no mystery to what's happening. So what we do know from the historical record is that these killers, when they come into our building or they erupt in our building, they're trying to find as many victims as they can as quickly as possible. So unless they're targeting a specific person or a specific room, they're going down the hallway and they're trying to find an open door and they're trying to look in and see if they see people. So there is only one instance that we have in the historical record of a shooter shooting through the classroom door window to kill people, and that was in Parkland. And the reason that happened, the teacher tried to pull the window cover down and it only went halfway across and he could look in and he could see them, and the kids were not in a safety corner. All right, so what's a safety corner? So if you stand at the classroom door in the hallway, some people have big windows, some have the little skinny ones, whatever you got. If I look in that window and I look side to side, at the point that I can no longer see where people would be in the corner of the room, that's a safety corner. All right, so what you do is you figure out where your safety corners are in your classrooms. You take a piece of tape and you put it across the ceiling where if everybody's standing behind that line of tape can't be seen, that's your safety corner, right? The reason we don't put it on the floor, that they can get waxed and the tape comes up on rug, it don't stay. On the ceiling, it'll stay there forever. So we close the door and lock it real quick, as fast as we can. So having a pre-locked door policy is a very good idea. I know some districts went to door locked, door closed at all times. This is where the magnet can help you. The door is locked and it is closed. In emergency, very quickly, you slide the magnet out of the way, click, door's closed, right? And everybody can come and go. You want to pull your window cover down. You want to get everybody into safety corners. And then what you want to start doing is blocking the door. So I call it lock and block. Right? When you lock that door, then you take everything you can, and age-appropriate children can help you. They can slide file cabinets, chairs, tables, whatever they can in front of that door, so that should your room be targeted for whatever reason, and that person is trying to get through the glass, and they stick their hand in and they're trying to get, number one, they might have the weapon in the hand, and you can hit it with something, a fire extinguisher, a computer, something. You can hit it, maybe knock the weapon out of their hand. If they don't have the weapon and they're sticking their hand in trying to get to the doorknob, you smack that arm, you could break that arm, you slow them down. They can't get into you, and hopefully they then move on. All right. So we close and lock the door, cover the windows, and then we lock and block and get in our safety corners. That's the best things that we can do. We find that one of the safest places you can be is in a properly locked down room with a window cover that's locked and blocked. So the window covers, you can buy commercially made window covers that have a Velcro sticky on the back, and you put it above the window and you roll it up, and it's not in the way. Anybody can look in the classroom all day long. In an emergency, you pop a couple tabs or you pull a string, and that cover drops down and covers the window. In the school district I worked in, they didn't have a budget for window covers. They had 10 schools, hundreds and hundreds of windows. So the teachers used an intern to make. They took the construction paper that they have, and they laminated it with plastic. They rolled it up and they put Velcro at the top and on the door, and that's where it stayed. In an emergency, the teacher just rolled it down and hit it to the Velcro on the bottom. It was inexpensive, and they did it themselves. So you want to get a window cover. I know lots of manufacturers that I trust. There are people that some of them are overpriced. They try and gouge you. You can't. You got to go. I vetted these people when I was security director. I know who these products are. I know which ones are good, and I know which ones I trust that my kids and now my grandchildren would be in classrooms with these products. So you want to keep that in mind. That's the whole idea today. When you do these kind of things, do you have safety corners? Do you practice going to them? Do you cover your windows? Do you lock and block? All important things for safety and security. We can do this in our business offices. We can do this in any place people gather where you have rooms and offices to secure. So keep that in mind. All right. This is Lieutenant Joe for Hope is Not Attacked. And remember, like the channel, share the channel, tell your friends about the channel, and subscribe to the channel. We have lots and lots and lots of information about keeping your facility safe and secure. Thanks for being here.